From the deserts of North Africa to the forests of Western Europe, American tanks played a decisive role in shaping the armored battles of World War II. This is the complete record of every United States tank that saw service during the conflict. Between 1939 and 1945, the United States developed and deployed a series of armored fighting vehicles designed for reconnaissance, infantry support, and armored warfare. Each model reflected the evolving demands of the battlefield. In this documentary, we examine every U.S. tank that was actually used during World War II, presented in clear archival detail. M2 Light Tank. The M2 light tank was an early American design that entered service before the outbreak of World War II. It was primarily used for training and limited combat roles in the early stages of the conflict. The M2 featured a riveted hull and a 37mm main gun, supported by multiple machine guns mounted in sponsons and turrets. Its armor protection was minimal, with thickness ranging from 6 to 25 millimeters, making it vulnerable to most enemy anti-tank weapons. Powered by a radial gasoline engine, the M2 could reach speeds of approximately 36 miles per hour on roads. Although obsolete by 1941, the M2 provided valuable experience for American crews and designers, serving as the foundation for the more advanced M3 Stuart. Its operational use was limited, but it marked the transition of the U.S. Army from interwar armored concepts to modern mechanized warfare. The M2 light tank's legacy lies in its role as a stepping stone, preparing American industry and personnel for the mass production and deployment of more capable armored vehicles that would follow. Every tank tells the story of adaptation. Continue watching as we move from training vehicles to combat-proven designs. M3. Stuart. The M3 Stuart was the first widely used American light tank of World War II. Armed with a 37mm M6 gun and up to 5.30 caliber Browning machine guns, the Stuart was designed for reconnaissance and infantry support. Its armor ranged from 13 to 51 millimeters, offering modest protection against small arms and light anti-tank weapons. Powered by a Continental radial engine, the Stuart achieved speeds of 36 miles per hour, making it highly mobile. The tank's crew of 4 operated in a compact fighting compartment, with limited internal space but reliable mechanical performance. The Stuart saw extensive service in North Africa, Europe, and the Pacific, where its speed and dependability were valued, despite its relatively light armament. British forces also operated the Stuart under Lend-Lease, giving it the nickname Honey for its smooth handling. While outclassed by heavier German tanks, the Stuart fulfilled its role as a fast, maneuverable vehicle, providing reconnaissance and screening for larger armored formations. Its widespread use and production, over 20,000 units, made it one of the most significant American light tanks of the war. From light reconnaissance to medium armor, the evolution of U.S. tanks reflected the demands of global warfare. Next, we examine America's first medium tank, M3 Lee/Grant. The M3 medium tank, known as the Lee in American service and the Grant in British service, was introduced in 1941. It carried a 75mm M2 gun mounted in a right-side sponson, supplemented by a 37mm gun in a rotating turret. This unusual dual-weapon configuration reflected the urgency of early war production. The M3's armor ranged from 13 to 51 millimeters, providing moderate protection against contemporary threats. With a crew of 7, the tank required complex coordination as multiple gunners and loaders operated separate weapons. Powered by a right radial engine, the M3 achieved speeds of 26 miles per hour. The tank saw combat in North Africa, where its 75mm gun proved effective against German Panzer III and IV tanks. However, its high silhouette and limited turret traverse were significant drawbacks. Despite these limitations, the M3 provided critical firepower during a transitional period, bridging the gap until the arrival of the M4 Sherman. Over 6,000 units were produced, and the M3 served in American, British, and Soviet forces under Lend-Lease agreements. The M3 was a stopgap solution. What followed became the backbone of American armored forces worldwide. M4 Sherman. The M4 Sherman was the principal U.S. medium tank of World War II. Armed initially with a 75mm M3 gun, later upgraded to a 76mm gun or 105mm howitzer in specialized variants, the Sherman balanced firepower, mobility, and production efficiency. Its armor ranged from 12 to 75mm, with later models featuring improved protection and wet ammunition storage to reduce fire hazards. Powered by a variety of engines, including radial gasoline, diesel, and multibank designs, the Sherman achieved speeds of 25 to 30 miles per hour. With a crew of 5, the tank offered a practical fighting compartment and reliable mechanical systems. Over 49,000 Shermans were produced, making it the most widely used American tank of the war. The Sherman served in every theater, from North Africa to Europe and the Pacific. It was also supplied to Allied nations under Lend-Lease, including Britain and the Soviet Union. While not the most heavily armed or armored tank of the war, its availability, adaptability, and logistical support made it a cornerstone of Allied armored operations. The Sherman defined American armor. Yet by 1944, a new light tank was introduced to replace the aging Stuart. M24. Chaffee. The M24 Chaffee was the final U.S. light tank introduced during World War II. Armed with a 75mm M6 gun mounted in a fully traversable turret, the Chaffee represented a significant improvement over the Stuart. Its armor ranged from 13 to 25mm, designed to protect against small arms and light anti-tank weapons while maintaining mobility. Powered by twin Cadillac engines, the Chaffee achieved speeds of 35 miles per hour. With a crew of 5, the tank offered improved ergonomics and firepower compared to earlier light tanks. The Chaffee entered service in late 1944 and saw combat in Europe during the final months of the war. Its combination of mobility and effective armament made it well-suited for reconnaissance and infantry support roles. Although produced in limited numbers during the conflict, the M24 established the foundation for post-war American light tank development. Its operational use in World War II was brief but significant, marking the transition to more modern armored concepts.